Hi friends, welcome back with new amazing video from Top Movies Recap. Today I'm going to recap a 2019 adventure and musical film titled The Lion King. Spoiler warning, watch out and take care. The movie starts with King Mufasa, the monarch of the Pride Lands, looks over his dominion as Rafiki, Mufasa's advisor and shaman, arrives to begin a rite. Mufasa kisses Sarabhai, his queen, who is cradling their newborn son Simba. Rafiki joyfully raises Simba in the air from the top of the rock. In adulation of the new prince, the animals of the kingdom clap and bow. Scar, Mufasa's jealous and scary brother, encounters a small mouse scurrying through the wilderness. A horn of Zazu interrupts Scar's attempt to kill the mouse, signaling the approach of Mufasa, who is upset that Scar did not attend the event. Scar refuses to answer anyone and proceeds to eat Zazu, only to be stopped by Mufasa, who demands an explanation for his brother's absence. Mufasa asks Scar not to abandon his family now that Simba has been born, but Scar warns Mufasa not to abandon him. Scar declines to challenge his brother for the kingdom, feeling that he possesses the intellect while his brother possesses the power. Scar exclaims, "Long live the king," when Mufasa tells him that Simba will one day govern the kingdom, and Mufasa refuses to banish his brother from their home. As long as he reigns supreme in his tree, this will never alter. Rafiki creates a Samba drawing with the help of neighboring bugs. Simba, now an enthusiastic cub in search of adventure, wakes up his father early in the morning in the hopes of doing things together, but Mufasa uses the chance to teach his son important lessons about how to be a king. He explains that anything the light touches in the Pride Lands must be protected, but anything beyond is forbidden. He goes on to explain to his son that every animal is linked in the circle of life, which is a delicate balance of life and death that a good king will respect and defend. Zazu interrupts the father-son connection in order to give Mufasa his breakfast. However, Simba becomes distracted while attempting to catch a flying beetle, and his failure lands him in Scar's hideout, where his uncle offers the young prince some advice on how to return home. Scar gets enraged when Simba tells him about all the things his father showed him, pondering on how strange it is that he'll be the one giving Scar commands when he's king. Simba interrupts his closest friend Nala's bath and claims they're going to the watering hole, but when they're about to depart, Sarabhai demands that Zazu accompany them or they won't go at all. On the way, Simba and Nala plot to get rid of Zazu, who thinks that the two would marry eventually. To Zazu's amusement, Simba declares that when he becomes king, he will change the rules and do things his way. While inspecting the lion skeletons, a troop of hyenas commanded by Shenzi Kamari and Azizi comes across the lions. Zazu tries to distract and fend off the hyenas long enough for the cubs to run, but the hyenas are unmoved and try to murder Simba anyhow. Simba gives his biggest roar, but the hyenas laugh at him. Mufasa steps in to fend off the hyenas, warning Shenzi of the ramifications if the hyenas come close to Simba again. Mufasa takes the cubs home, but he's furious with Simba, so he tells Zazu to return Nala to Pride Rock before expressing his displeasure with Simba for jeopardizing the Pride's future. The cub tries to rationalize his actions by claiming that he was imitating Mufasa's bravery. Mufasa confesses that he is only brave when it is really necessary, such as today when he was afraid of losing his son. Mufasa and Simba look up at the stars, with Mufasa explaining that the great kings of the past are gazing down on them from the skies, and he assures Simba that he'll join in one day and guide him when he feels alone. Meanwhile, Scar arrives at the hyena hideout where the pack is complaining about a lack of food. Scar expresses his dismay that the hyenas were unable to kill two cubs that had been handed to them by hand. He promises the hyenas an endless supply of food from the Pride territory if they help him kill Mufasa and Simba, allowing him to ascend to the king. Scar takes Simba to an empty gorge the next day to teach him how to roar, a guaranteed method to impress his father. If he masters his roar, he will never be called a cub again. As Simba practices his roar, he senses something is wrong. The rock faces begin to collapse and the earth begins to shake. This is all part of his plan above the canyon, where the hyenas are waiting for Scar's signal. Simba glances up at the cliff and sees a stampede of wildebeests heading his way. The wildebeest is chased into the canyon by hyenas, forcing Simba to run for his life. The tiny cub manages to hide behind a rock at Pride Rock. Scar informs Mufasa that Simba has been caught up in the stampede. Zazu and Mufasa rush to save him. With a rock destroyed, Simba climbs a tree for safety, but the rampaging wildebeest threatens to knock it down. Zazu finds the cub and assures him that help is on the way. Scar sends Zazu away to warn the Pride, while Mufasa rushes down to aid his son. Mufasa braves the rush to save Simba, but the king is quickly swept away by the raging wildebeest. Simba stands by and watches as Mufasa leaps out of the fray and climbs the rock face. He approaches the cliff's edge but is unable to pull himself up, so he seeks assistance from Scar. Before hurling his brother to his death, the power-hungry Scar sinks his claws into Mufasa's paws, promising a sinister "Long live the king." Simba watches as his father is crushed by the stampede. Simba rushes into the gorge only to discover his father's lifeless body. The distraught cub begs his father to wake up, but it's too late. Scar enters and convinces Simba that he is the reason Mufasa died. He states that Simba was the greatest disappointment to his parents, and his pride encouraged Simba to flee and never return. Simba is afraid, so the hyenas arrive and Scar orders them to murder him. The hyenas pursue the cub to a cliff's brink, where he is thrown over the edge. Shenzi orders Camry and Azizi to go down and make sure he's dead, but the hyenas figure the cub couldn't possibly have survived the fall, so they agree to lie to Shenzi and depart. Simba begins his exile roaming through the wilderness, ignorant that he survived the fall. Scar reports Mufasa's death to the lionesses and discloses that Simba has also perished. He feigns remorse and sadness that he could not prevent the occurrence, but takes his place as the new king of the Pride Lands. He says that he can't bear the responsibility alone, and that the hyenas will be assisting him in ensuring the Pride's safety. Scar is celebrating his coronation, but Zazu and Rafiki are lamenting the loss of their companions from afar. Simba goes alone through the desert, fatigued until he passes out. Later, a group of vultures tries to eat him, but they are sent away by the meerkat and warthog duo Timon and Pumbaa, who realize the lion cub is alone. Timon and Pumbaa decide to adopt the cub as their own in order to have a fearsome and powerful adult lion on their side. Simba is still upset at his father's death when he wakes up, but Timon and Pumbaa have introduced the cub to their life motto, Hakuna Matata, which means forget the past, answer to no one, and live without worry or responsibility to protect your friends. Simba is introduced to the world of eating bugs by Timon and Pumbaa, and becomes close friends with them over time, adopting their carefree lifestyle philosophy. Scar appears on Pride Rock and the hyenas force Zazu away. Nala tries to persuade Sarabai to fight, but Sarabai refuses since Scar is the king, and they must never quit their home. Sarabai assures Nala that their time will come, but they must wait. Scar summons Sarabai, boasting that he has perfected the skill and will no longer be challenged as king, but Sarabai refuses his advances, swearing never to be his queen. Scar punishes her by making the lions eat after the hyenas, guaranteeing that they get the crumbs. That night, while the lionesses are sleeping, Nala sneaks off a Pride Rock to avoid the hyenas on the loose. Zazu notices Nala and urges her to sleep again. Scar and the hyenas are distracted by Nala's refusal to hide from Scar, which appears to be on the hunt for her. Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa stare up at the stars that night, and Timon and Pumbaa wonder what could be up there, much to the delight of their new pals. Mufasa's wisdom is passed on by Simba. As he lays down, the wind blows some fur from his mane, and the kings of the past stare down on the kingdom. His buddies laugh it off, but Simba is lost in meditation and sneaks away to be alone. Rafiki returns to his artwork, updates it, and rejoices after several animals bring the fur from place to place till it reaches him. Timon, Pumbaa, and the other animals are assaulted and pursued by Nala while singing and dancing through their safe home. Simba comes out and pounces on her before she can trap them, and Nala pins him down during the battle, causing him to realize that this is his best friend. Scar has destroyed the Pride territory, explains Nala, who is overjoyed to learn that Simba is still alive. Simba refuses to return home and claim his rightful place as king, insisting that this is his new home and persuading Nala to stay for a while. Timon and Pumbaa notice that Simba and Nala are falling in love as he shows her around his new home. It'll only be a matter of time before they have to say goodbye to their new carefree pal in favor of a life of duty. Simba refuses to return home even after hearing of the annihilation of the Pride territories, when Nala wonders why he never bothered to come home. She encourages him to confront Scar, but he is too stubborn and entrenched in his ways. Nala decides to abandon Simba in the bush, dissatisfied with his absolute lack of responsibility. Simba wanders alone, believing that he doesn't need anyone else to be happy. Simba pursues him through the woods until they reach a little lake. Rafiki gives Simba his reflection, which transforms into an image of Mufasa and tells him that his father resides in him. Simba sees his father, who is illuminated by lightning, in the sky and hears his voice encouraging him to take his rightful place as king of the Pride Lands in the circle of life. Simba races to catch Nala, Timon, and Pumbaa sees him roaring with fresh purpose. Mufasa promises Simba that he'll never leave and that all he needs to do is remember who he is. Scar attempts once more to persuade Sarabai to be his queen, but she refuses. Rafiki observes as the plan unfolds, collecting a big stick from Pride Rock. She tells him that he is nothing in comparison to Mufasa. Scar attacks Sarabai in front of the lionesses, prompting Simba to roar to stop the fight, mistaking him for Mufasa. The Pride is ecstatic to see him alive and well, so Nala declares that Simba is the genuine king, and the lionesses agree. Scar turns the tables on Simba, compelling him to announce to the Pride that he was the one who killed Mufasa. Scar angrily pushes Simba to the cliff's edge, causing him to slide and hang over the edge, exactly as Mufasa did below when lightning strikes a tree, sparking a fire. Simba learns that Scar was the one who killed Mufasa. Simba, realizing the truth, pounces violently on Scar, who is giving the lionesses the truth. Scar tries to deceive Sarabhai once more, but she detects flaws in Scar's story and refuses to accept defeat. Scar orders his hyenas to assassinate the lions, igniting a full-fledged conflict between the two tribes. While Nala and Shenzi fight, Zazu and Rafiki enter the fight to get some strikes in before Timon and Pumbaa arrive. Shenzi is thrown off the cliff by Nala, and the lions chase the hyenas away. When Simba notices Scar attempting to run, he pursues him. Scar tries to blame the whole incident on the hyenas and claims he was preparing to murder them when Simba eventually meets him at the top of a massive rock with no way out. They don't realize they're being watched. Scar asks for compassion, and Simba granted it, ordering Scar to flee and never return. Scar accepts only to hurl hot coals in Simba's face, and the two battle until Simba pushes Scar down the cliff and into the flames, but Scar survives only to see the hyenas approaching. The hyenas confess that they heard him put them under the bus and kill him while he tries to win them back. As Simba finally ascends to his throne, the falling rain puts out the fire, and the lionesses return to Pride Rock. Mufasa's voice encourages Simba to remember. He reaches the cliff's edge and lets out a magnificent roar, formally establishing himself as the Lion King. Timon, Pumbaa, and their companions have moved in, and animals from all across the land have arrived in celebration as Nala joins Simba on top of Pride Rock. Rafiki makes his way to the brink of the cliff where he presents the king's newest cub, Kiara, to the animal kingdom, ensuring that the circle of life will continue. We hope you enjoyed our video from today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of new and interesting videos.